Welcome back. Today I'm going to take this tub of mesquite and blackjack oak scraps. Most of it's mesquite. There's a little bit of oak in there. Just some cut-offs that I had from making bowls. They were sitting around not doing anything, and I decided to see if we could give them some life. There's got some really pretty woods and figure in here, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to fill this tub with a blue resin. I'm using a new resin for me. It was sent to me by Pro Marine. One of my concerns is that this epoxy resin has very specific and limiting temperature factors. It has to be stored at 75 degrees or more, and it has to be poured up in an environment that's 75 degrees or higher. In order for me to hit that, I'd have to turn my heating and air conditioning system off, and I would have to wait until the summer for the temperature to get that high. It's not that high. It's about 74 degrees in here, and I've had a heater blowing on the resin to try to keep it at the right temperature. So I'm gonna try it anyway. I've seen this used for deep pours before, and it looked successful. I don't know if he followed the temperature specifications or not, but we're gonna give it a try and see what happens. So come along with me and let's see where we go. So it says you mix equal parts. So I've got these both set, parts A and B, to the same level. I'm going to dump them in my bowl. You know, it might have been better if I had put these in a hot water bath and got them a little warmer, because it's pretty thick stuff right now. Just a possible lesson learned for next time. The hardener is actually thinner than the epoxy. Well, this is definitely among the thickest of the resins that I've used. I want it to have a little bit of translucence, but I think that's too much translucence. I need to add a little more color. Okay, that'll work. I think that will do. Okay, this resin is already at 81.5 degrees. I don't know that that makes a difference, but I'm just letting you know that it does heat up a little bit. How much more it's going to heat, I have no idea. I don't know if this is enough resin even. I'm hoping it is, but I guess we'll see. So it was close. I mean, not close. Looks like 2/3 maybe. Let's mix up some more. So that calculation was pert near perfect. Okay, now aside from the directions saying that this needs to be poured in the shop that's 75 degrees and have it be at least 75 degrees in temperature before you mix it, which it wasn't, it was a 70. I think what I tell you, it was a 74. I think this should work out all right. This is really slow cure, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about bubbles. This is starting to heat up just a little. It's at 97. If it gets too much hotter, it will melt this thing. Just in case, I'm gonna put this in this is I think it's 3-gallon bucket. If I can do this without spilling it, we'll be in good shape. Okay, just in case this gets too hot and melts and resin overflows before it cures, if it pours into this HDPE bucket, I'm not gonna worry about it. This is either gonna be a success, or as I've said in the past, a dismal failure. I guess we'll find out. And when this is nice and cure, it'll take 3 or 4 days, it says. So when this is cure, I'll come back Okay, so this is the next morning, and this is got a few bubbles on the top, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is this. It melted. It got hot, and I don't know if it melted the plastic bottle. I used a distilled water bottle. I don't know if it melted the plastic bottle and ran out, or if it got, because it got hot, and I don't know if it just overflowed and ran out because it got hot. When I manage to get this out of the bucket, we'll find out. Okay, I got this out of the bucket. It came out easily enough. The fat boy forgot to record the mounting of the ring. So I've got a faceplate ring mounted to this. I cut this off on the bandsaw. This should turn relatively well. Only one way to find out. Okay, check this up. Okay, let's see what kind of damage we can do. I'm gonna have to sharpen. Now I know, use pressure. I wasn't gonna know until I did it. When I figure out what I'm gonna do for a mold, I'll come back. I got this rough turned and I'm happy with it. There's only one problem. The only mold that I have that this will fit in, this is still a little bit too wide in diameter. So I need to take this down. That'll do. When we get back from lunch, I'm gonna come back and I will cast this. As you saw, I've got this turned. I've got a few cracks in it and some voids. So what I'm gonna do is put it in this pitcher. I've measured up my epoxy. I'm gonna mix it up in this bucket. These are $1 a piece. I got them at the Dollar Tree. And then I'm gonna put this in here. I've had these buckets sitting in water, in warm, hot water actually, to warm them up, to make them a little bit thinner and easier to use and get out of here. But this stuff is still pretty thick. This is the epoxy itself is pretty thick. Part A. Part B is the hardener, and it's less viscous. Time to pour it in. Now, I left myself enough room for this to run down, but this stuff is just so thick that it's not doing it. This is either going to work or it isn't. Let's get it under pressure. It's under pressure. We'll leave this sit for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll check it out. My little test cup is hardened up. It's been a couple hours. This Promarine sets pretty quickly, so I'm gonna let the pressure out of here. It's still soft in the middle. It's got some pretty big bubbles in the top, but I'm not worried about that. I don't like those voids there, so I'm just gonna put it back under pressure and leave it overnight. I took it out of the pressure pot this morning. It's nice and solid. It looks like it's doing okay. When I come back after a while, I'll see if we can demold this without destroying the picture. Voila! Based on how pliable this stuff still is, that this resin isn't really hard enough to turn. So I will come back tomorrow or the next day. And now that I've got the Nova back in operation, I may not finish it up on the Nova, but I'm going to start the rough turn on the Nova because I've got another piece on the big lathe. So this will let me go back and forth between the two while I'm waiting on glue to dry or epoxy or whatever. Let's take this beast to the lathe and see what happens. Okay, time to start turning this to shape. It actually came out from between centers. And hit me in the belly after it broke my tool rest. Broke the post on my tool rest. That kind of hurt. It didn't feel like it was out of balance. I'm really surprised it did that. Since this came off of the Nova and got all banged up when it broke that tool rest, I've got to reshape it a little bit. I was going to reshape it anyway, some, but I was kind of happy with this shape. Now I got to do something else. So I'm going to reshape it a little. See, that's what happens when you're not seeing ribbons. When you're not seeing ribbons, you're getting chip out. Okay, I had to stop and do some maintenance, tool maintenance. The switch on my drill press broke when I was cutting the mortises in each end. Got these drilled out, got a dovetail cut on this end. Let me go turn my dust collector on. We'll do some more shaping down here and down here. I'm gonna maintain tailstock support just as long as I absolutely can. I'm going for this shape right here. Now I'll take it to the bandsaw and finish parting that off, and I'll come back. Well, some idiot left the camera running all day yesterday instead of pausing in between what he was doing. That means the camera got full. When I realized that, I had already shaped some of this off. Most of that's gonna sand right out. When I get it all sanded up, I'll come back. I'm not happy with this at all. I'm gonna strip this down with acetone, bore them out, fill them again. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Stronger, better, faster. Wait a minute. Maybe not faster. Okay, this is all dry now. Let's see how we did. If it filled the voids or ran out or whatever. Baby steps, little by little, I'll take it down. Okay, I can sand the rest of that. Let's try this again. I've got it hollowed now. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, it was really shiny a while ago, wasn't it? I wasn't happy with the finish, so I stripped it off and sanded it some more. I've got it hollowed, and it's even thickness all the way around. It's in really good shape. I need to sand it up, but boy, you can really see where the air bubbles are inside. I'm gonna flood the inside of this with blue resin, like I did the outside, to fill the bubbles. Some of them will fill, some of them won't. I guess we'll see what happens. Let me get busy on that and I'll come back. Okay, I've got this out of the pressure pot now. Let's get this resin out of here and see what it looks like. Wow. Close enough for the girls I run with anyway. The Toolrest is too high. Okay, easy does it. I want to try to keep as much pressure toward the headstock as possible. Hit this, rough it up. I'm just going to hit it with some 150. And then I'll take it over to the bench because I've got to fill this big hole here. And then I will coat this whole thing with super glue and fill all these other voids. I'm hating the finish on this thing on the outside. Absolutely hating it. I'm tempted to throw this in the naughty bin. I've never had a naughty bin before. But this, all those little holes, I mean, that just, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. I was experimenting with a new product and now I know how to use it. But I can fix this. It's just going to take time, and I'm tired of messing with it. For the time being, I'm going to set this one aside because I'm just fed up. I'm not going to call it a fail because it's not a fail. It's just really ugly, and I can fix that. But it's going to take another week, and I don't feel like messing with it anymore right now. Kind of like Doug's corncob bowl. He kind of got frustrated with it and set it aside too. He'll finish it one of these days. Same with this, I'll finish it one of these days. I'm going to call this the end of the video. I reached a point where I've spent 2 weeks on this thing and I'm just not happy with it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to finish it one of these days, but I've just expended way too much time in it for the purposes of what I'm doing. So I'm not calling it a fail. I'm just calling it I'm not happy with it, and it's going to take more time to finish it than I really want to devote to it right now. I've been working on it, like I said, 2 weeks already. The shape isn't bad. It's what I'm going for. The lid is going to come in much from here into a small finial top, but there's just way too many voids in the resin because I didn't use pressure. But again, it's a new product and I was testing it, and I've learned a lot of lessons with this that helped me with the next project that you'll see next week. That one I am happy with. I'm like I said, I'm not abandoning it. I'm not throwing it away. I'm just tired of messing with it, and I'll revisit this project in the future. Like I said, it's a new resin to me. I'm happy with it. It took some figuring out how to work it and what to do with it. As you'll see with the second one, it's a dream to work with if you do what I'm doing and apply what I've learned with it. So I'm hopeful for this product. I want to use it some more. So far I got at least 2 weeks in this thing, and that's one of the reasons that I wasn't able to, the problems that I've been having with it is one of the reasons I've not been able to get a video of it. But it's just, I've reached the point right now of diminishing returns, and I'm fed up. You know, it happens. I mean, we get that way. And Billy's rambling again. So I appreciate you watching. I really, really do, folks. If you'd like to support the Missy Studio in any way, there's a PayPal donate button on my YouTube page. You can use my Amazon affiliate link. It's in the description below. Anything you order from them, they send me a few pennies. Doesn't cost you any more. You can buy swag, caps, t-shirts, coffee mugs, even some of my projects that I've turned. Thanks again for watching. Y'all come back.